say when shit hit the fan, is you still a fan? When shit hit the fan, is you still a fan?
Alright, so let me start this video off asking you guys a question. Have you ever liked something or someone, whether it be something materialistic like a video game or a sports car, or maybe you're just really into your crush at high school but you're not going to say anything because you're too much of a pussy? Well, let me ask you another question. How much do you like this thing or person? Would you like it enough to constantly tweet about it every day? Make a fan account on Instagram or Twitter and then harass anyone who has any form of criticism against said thing or person? Well, I ask this because the internet has been getting bigger and the mainstream media has been changing a lot. I feel like the ideals of stan culture have only gotten worse, and I feel like we'll completely ruin the hip-hop fandom and possibly music as a whole. Now I'm going to start this off by saying I thank God every day that I'm not a stan of my own interest. As a follower of a lot of things such as cars, music, fashion, and anime, and then being on social media 24/7, I can definitely see the links that these fandoms will go for their respective interests to the point where it can just be fucking toxic. And then you have the music community that's just riddled with the most goofiest fucking fan bases on the planet, and music artists who tend to encourage this kind of behavior without realizing the negative effects it can have, which can definitely lead towards a downward spiral that can make the music community a million times worse than what it already is. For example, let's look at one of the more infamous fan bases, the Barbs. Now this isn't going to be some slander piece on Nicki Minaj herself, though the shit that her and her fan base gets into could be a whole video on its own, but instead let's take a look back when Nicki dropped her previous album Queen around the same time Travis Scott dropped his third studio album Astroworld back in 2018. Now the drama surrounding all of this was that Nicki was mad because she wasn't the #1 album but instead Travis Scott, so she then took to social media to blame Travis having a kid for him being the #1 album and how much she deserves and whatnot, without taking into the fact that the album simply was just an extremely hype project and that Travis Scott had a larger growing fan base at the time. So alongside Nicki's little rant, the Barbs also then run to social media to boost Nicki's head and talk down Travis and Stormy just because their favorite artist doesn't have the #1 but instead the #2, which isn't bad at all considering the sales that came alongside it. But in situations like this, it just doesn't really make any sense to me because instead of just streaming Queen more, you instead take to the internet to bully and shit talk a dude and his kid because your favorite artist doesn't have the #1 spot. And it's not just the Barbs being irrational, but nowadays as Travis himself has gotten bigger, even his own fan base has become a bunch of 14-year-olds who will defend Travis from any form of criticism, whether it be trolls or genuine concern. And then looking at Kanye West fans who have inhaled so much copium that no matter how far Kanye West is visibly degrading, Ye stans will still defend his actions and not question him no matter how much of a goddamn weirdo with obvious issues he's turned out to be. But personally, I just don't understand it. You're basing your personality and opinions off the existence of another person, and that's just something that just doesn't make any sense. And I know that when it comes to a lot of these stans on the internet, they're mainly just 14 to 16-year-olds who are trying to form a personality by latching onto a single interest without any thought to anything else in life. But for the ones that aren't in this age range and run these Twitter and Instagram accounts that are either fan accounts or obviously biased towards one person and their affiliates, it can be very, for a lack of better words, dick ridish. And the thing is that I wouldn't even entirely say it's their fault. See, I believe that the media has changed a lot of people's mindsets and created this narrative that's been spread around of, if you're not fully 100% balls to the wall dedicated to this group or person, are you really a fan? And with that, it's created a lot of people who feel that if they're not revolving their lives around this music artist, then they don't feel complete. And it ended up creating a very toxic environment with people going to wits end to defend anyone, although most of these music artists don't know nor care for their fans. But that's just my 2 cents on stan culture. I want to thank you guys for checking in with me this Wednesday while I'm working some things out with the channel. And tell me, how do you feel about stan culture? Have you ever stan something yourself? Let me know down in the comments while liking and subscribing. Make sure to follow my IG and Twitter. And if you like the illustrations used in this video, make sure to follow the artist as well because she's dope. And on that note, I'll see you on Friday for another album review. Peace.